To start, and we're going to record this so that people can see it later if they'd like to. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is David Froba, for those who don't know me, and been active in Audubon for about 30 years, former president, field trip chair, currently the treasurer, and I think bird watching is one of the coolest things that you could ever do. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so this is the beginning the PowerPoint. So does everybody have it?
Huh? Yeah.
Yep.
Get the PowerPoint? Okay. So this is a new thing that we decided to try, do-it-yourself field trips. Jim, if anybody else comes along, would you make sure you admit them?
Sure.
Okay, so this is something we're just starting. And the plan is to have a different leader in a suggested field trip area each class. Meet by Zoom the first and third Wednesdays of the month through the end of this year. Hopefully by that time we'll have a vaccine. We can go out and we all bird like regular people.
All right.
And we're gonna try to learn to identify and appreciate 5 or 6 new birds a week. And we will discuss field trips finding at the next class. So the idea is we meet here, we talk about 5 birds, and then we come back the next time and we talk about if we see them, we didn't see them, experiences we had. If you if you saw any interesting animals or any other wildlife, well, we'd like to hear about that too. And this is the place we're going to go. It's a place hopefully is familiar and easily accessible to everybody. That's the reason I chose it. And it's the Dry Creek Parks. Here's Coffee Road, here's El Vista, here's Scenic, and there's parking here, and there's parking here. Actually, I suggest that you park at the one off of Edgebrook, but you could park either one. This gives you a little closer idea on Google Earth about, this is the parking lot off of Edgebrook over here. And then notice here the tennis courts and basketball courts. There's basketball courts here. So just as you get beyond the basketball court, I'm suggesting that you bird right along this area here in particular. Anywhere along the Dry Creek should be good, but this seems to be a particularly good place. So that's where, that is the where. The when is, of course, we all know about such thing as bird migration. This is a poster that was in National Geographic. I don't know how long ago. I had 3 people send me this from their national, their pullout in the National National Geographic. And this is the bird we're going to look at right now. This tiny little thing you can hardly see is one of the most amazing migrants there are, the rufous hummingbird. And here's the rufous hummingbird. And that's a heck of a good looking bird. This is a male. And when you get a good look at this with the sun behind you, it is the brilliant color of polychrome. A very, very beautiful bird.
Never mind.
And it's fairly easy to identify, actually, because this is a female juvenile. Females and juveniles don't have the same colors under the throat and not as brilliant colors. This is kind of a typical bird in the fall, kind of scruffy looking, just a couple of months old, hasn't quite got its feathers together. But the interesting thing is, all you need to know to identify this bird is that it's a hummingbird, and you already know what a hummingbird is. And it's a hummingbird that's got some rufous on it. It's the only one that you'll see around here that's got rufous on it, except for other very unusual birds So 99% of the time you see a hummingbird, it's got rufous on it, it's going to be a rufous hummingbird. Now, this is something that I'm going to show you that's taken from eBird. eBird is a website that you can go to. And if you search for eBird migration animation, you will get this. Unfortunately, this wouldn't let me, it wouldn't let me download this or embed it. And I found out that if you try to play it from the link, it won't do it. You've got to go open it again and go to another share, which is worth the effort because it's a very cool thing. This is, you see here, this is the rufous hummingbird. They have these maps for a very large number of birds in North America. Not all of them, but a very large number. And it gives you the migratory pattern of the bird. So first, I'm just going to show you the 1 year. You see down here, you've got the date and the month. I'm just going to show you 1 year, and I'll come back and give you some details. So this is the bird beginning in southern Mexico, March, April, May, June, it's up in Alaska, August, it's coming back down, September, October, November, and there it is. So let's do it one more time, but this time we're going to stop to where we are now in August. So here is June the 27th. We'll go one more week. Wrong way. Or excuse me. July the 5th, July the 12th, just starting to see some. July the 19th, July the 26th, August the 2nd, August the 9th, August the 16th, which is about where we are right now. So you can see the purple is the highest abundance. So we have all kinds of rufous hummingbirds flying through here right now in relatively large numbers. They'll keep on going August, September. Still in September, they're cleaning out everywhere in the country, but there's still a lot of them in the Central Valley. September the 20th, and they're all in Mexico now. Got to go back to the other screen. So that's what we just saw, that link there. It's the northernmost range of any hummingbird. No hummingbird flies as far north as the rufous hummingbird. It also has the longest migration of any hummingbird, from southern Alaska to southern Mexico. It also has the longest migration of any bird in the world by weight. And by far, the largest migration of any bird is the Arctic tern, but the Arctic tern is like 20 or 30 times bigger by weight than a rufous hummingbird. The rest of the birds we're going to talk about, the other 5, a total of 6, are all yellow birds. Now, if you're not familiar with these birds, you'll look at them, you'll say, well, they're all yellow and they're all kind of cool, but I couldn't tell one from the other. Well, if you can't tell one from the other right now, give it about 15 minutes and you will be able to tell one from the other. 3 of the yellow birds are warblers, and this is the shape of a warbler. They're very small, barely 5 inches long. So that's the thing you're going to be looking for, is some really small bird. It has fairly long, pointed bill. It's very active feeders, because as they're coming through here, as you saw in the animation map, they will have flown probably 100 miles, a couple 100 miles in one day, overnight. You'll need to get out and bird, particularly this warm weather, early in the morning. So if you're out there at 8 or 9 in the morning, these birds have only been there for a couple of hours, and they are extremely hungry, and they will be very active, which is both good and bad, because bad to the extent that they're not going to just sit there for a second and let you watch them. They're going to be moving around a lot. So you'll have to move around a lot, your binoculars, to try to get on them and see what they are. The good thing is they're not going to be hiding. So if they're around, you'll see them moving and you'll be able to get on them. Legendary migrants. We have a relatively small number of warblers on the Pacific coast, but on the eastern coast, there's something like 50 or 60, all brilliantly colored. And people back in the east love to watch the migrating warblers. This is the first one, the yellow warbler. Bright yellow with red stripes. Pretty unmistakable. 5-inch bird, bright yellow, red stripes. However, this is the male that has the red stripes. And in migration, they may not, even the male may not show much red. They get dressed up for breeding season, and then they go back to being their usual selves. Here's the female, also very bright, but doesn't have the stripes, bright yellow. But this is the thing to look for. This the yellow warbler female, or juvenile, is all yellow, going all the way to the tip of the tail. And that is a very important diagnostic feature. Now you might say, well, these tiny little birds, I'm not going to be able to see the tip of their tail. Well, you often can, because they'll be high up in a tree and you'll see them from below and you'll be able to get that distinctive feature. The next bird is Wilson's warbler, also brilliant yellow with a black cap. But here's the female. The female doesn't have the black cap, so it looks quite a bit like the female or juvenile yellow warbler, except that yellow doesn't go all the way to the end of the tail. I don't know how that got in there. You get the idea. Black cap, yellow. Wilson.
Okay.
This is the other yellow bird of the warblers, the orange crowned warbler. First of all, you've virtually never seen the orange crown. Birds usually are named going back into 2 centuries ago, when birds were shot and examined in the field. They didn't have good optics. So they would, be able to take your finger and move the feathers around on the head and see that's got orange under there, which you very, very seldom see. But it's dull orange all over, kind of featureless, but it has a black stripe through the eye. Not real distinct, but usually distinct enough to be able to see. Here is another yellow bird, the western tanager. A very distinctive yellow bird with a red head. Now, the important thing to notice is this is 7 inches long. 7 inches long means it's 2 inches longer than a warbler. And you can tell that in the field. Human beings have a good ability to judge size. So, I mean, if you were to stand up, 20 foot from somebody and you'd say, well, this is 5 inches, people would be able to see that. You say, this is 7 inches, they'd be able to see that. So it's going to be the big yellow bird. This is what you're more likely to see, because the females, juveniles, and most of the non-breeding males will not have red. They'll be a more muted yellow, but they will have they'll have a large size. And this is the last of the yellow birds, the lesser goldfinch. And the only reason I put the lesser goldfinch in, which is not migrant, and all these other birds are migrant, is that it's easy to confuse one of the yellow birds with this. It's the same size as a warbler. It has different forms, different times of the year in different parts of the country. This is the one we're usually going to see here. And it is going to have a stubby bill with black wings. And usually they have quite different feeding pattern. They're going to be feeding on seeds, on weeds. So those are the 6 birds that we're going to be looking for. And now we have a surprise, an appearance from the Rolling Stones in Zoom, giving us part of our lesson.
Here's one I hope you know, and you can join in if you want. Everyone ready? Okay. 1. And... Well, I saw her today at the reception, a glass of wine in her hand. I know she was gonna meet her connection. At her feet was a footloose man. Now you can't always get what you want. Now you can't always get what you want. Now you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need.
So there's the story that the Rolling Stones are telling us. You can't always get what you want, but if you try real hard, you might get what you need. Bringing that to where we are now, you see all these beautiful 6 birds, and you go out and you're looking to see all of them, and you might be disappointed because you say, gosh, I went out and I only saw 1 or 2. Or maybe if you get real unlucky, you won't see any at all. But probably you're going to see some of them, but not all of them. But you can't always get what you want, but you can get what you need. And what you need is all the rest of the birds. So this is the book that I recommend, Sibley's Birds of the West. You can buy it in a book. You can buy it in a paid app, but it gives you all the birds of, if you get the app, you get all the birds of North America and all their songs and all kinds of good stuff. I really think that having a bird book is better because you can leaf through it and just go, page by page and get a better idea about what you're looking for. So let me go back for a minute now. So now, these are the birds that we learned about today. And when you saw these 10 minutes ago, you may have said, I don't know one from the other, but they all look cool. Now you know that this is a Western tanager, which is a bigger bird, the big yellow bird. This is the Wilson's warbler, black cap, yellow bird. This is the yellow warbler, yellow with red stripes. And the female of these look similar, but what is the difference?
Yellow on the tail.
Yellow at the tip of the tail, right. And this is here's the orange crown warbler, which is a dull yellow. And this is the lesser goldfinch, which has black wings. So you can distinguish it from the other birds of the same size because it's black wings. And that pretty much gives you all of the yellow birds that you're going to see around here, with the exception perhaps of the Bullock's oriole. And that would be cool to see that too. Okay, any questions? Comments? Go ahead, Ralph.
I would suggest that everybody get the book and the app because you can leaf through the book at home, but when you're in the field, the app is easier to carry on your phone than carrying a book in your pocket.
Right, and you can play the song. If you hear a song and you think you sort of know what it is, you can play the song right in the field. Get it on your cell phone or your iPad. there are other things you can get as well, which we'll be talking about as the time goes on in further weeks. Any other questions, comments? Okay, well, that will be it for this week, and we'll be having the next class. Ralph is hosting the next class. Ralph is a great birder. It's our field trip chair. Knows as much about birds in this county probably as anybody other than a handful of others. And we're very fortunate to have him do the next class. Elaine, you had your hand up.
When I go birding with just myself, I never see anything. So if any, or except birds that I already know, like a, magpie or a mockingbird or scrub jay or something. So if any of you people would like some company, I would love to accompany you. And I am going to be gone August 22nd through the 29th or the 30th. But if you're going to go out any other time, I would just send me an email. I would love to hang out with you and look at some birds, because like I said, by myself, I only see the birds I know. I never learn any new birds.
Well, did you know any of these birds other than the lesser goldfinch?
Well, yes, because I've taken classes, and periodically when I go with other people, I see them.
Okay.
But it was helpful for me at the end that you showed all the birds together.
Uh-huh.
If I could somehow put that in my brain, that would help.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is being recorded, so we'll, and it's going to be online. So if you want to look at it again, could you identify a yellow warbler or a tanager?
A tanager, yeah.
But not a yellow warbler.
If someone said, hey, look at that yellow bird,
Okay,
it's a yellow warbler.
okay. But now you have a better idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I did this class through an MJC class, virtual like this. And there were 7 women that met one another. Well, some of them had known one another before and started meeting one another, driving separately to the same location. And they've been birding once a week all summer long, virtual distancing and wearing masks and everything. And they've really gotten into it. And none of them were very much birders before. So it's actually, a good time to bird. There's a lot of things you can't do. You can't go to movies, can't go to concerts, can't go to restaurants, can't visit with your family that much. But you can sure as heck bird. And there's good stuff out there. And there's good stuff out there, particularly during migration. So get out there and see them. And it's going to get cool within a couple of weeks. It's just going to be perfect. Okay, any other comments or questions or okay.
Did a great job, David. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. See you the next time with Ralph.